Sometimes when I'm out picking tropical fruit in the orchards, I feel this deep sense of fulfillment and wonder. Like somehow through this instinctual act of harvesting, I am connecting to all my ancestors and all the humans that came before me who knew how to forage, grow food, and preserve it. They were connected to the cycles of the seasons and understood the medicine that the forest can give. I realized that being connected to these old ways is very powerful. I like to think of people around the world continuing or returning to these village ways and learning how to live with the land. Along the way, we have also realized that these village ways bring us health, community, and joy. As young women, we are on a journey to remember these ways of living, even though they can be slow and sometimes difficult. Caring for a farm can feel impossible at times, but when we work with our hands, creating, harvesting, and preserving, we feel reconnected to the land and to ourselves. On a hot summer afternoon after a humid day of harvesting fruit, there is nothing better than going down to the lake and swimming in the cool water. When we moved back from the city years ago, we imagined this kind of life, picking fruit from trees, enjoying their sweetness, and living close to nature. It hasn't always been easy or abundant, but this year the mango trees are full of fruit. With the help of goats clearing weeds and small efforts over time, the mango trees have thrived. We are still working toward a fully sustainable life in the mountains, but every day we feel closer. We have learned that a self-sufficient life is not about doing everything alone. The most important part is community, working together to grow food, care for one another, and share joy. At a friend's farm, we spend time milking goats and learning traditional skills. Goat milk is nutritious and easier to digest than cow's milk, but more importantly, it connects us to our food and the land. In today's modern world, many farming skills are disappearing. Farming has become industrial and focused on profit rather than care. This change distances us from animals, the land, and the real value of food. But when we milk goats by hand in the early morning sun and speak gently to them, we feel a deep relationship with them and the landscape around us. They receive our care, and in return we receive nourishing milk and a stronger connection to nature. Learning these traditional ways, caring for animals, working with the seasons, and making food by hand brings resilience, responsibility, and community back into our lives. It reminds us that humans are not separate from nature. We are deeply dependent on it. Taking care of the land is also a way of taking care of our future. Together with friends, we share knowledge and skills. One person teaches us how to milk goats, another teaches us how to make cheese. We learn by doing, laughing, and working together. We spend the morning milking goats while chickens and baby goats wander around. This is what community resilience looks like, sharing harvests, knowledge, work, and laughter. Later, we turn the fresh goat milk into cheese. We heat the milk, add apple cider vinegar so it curdles, and separate the curds to make ricotta. Tasting cheese made from milk that we collected only an hour earlier is a special experience. We enjoy it with honey from our friends' bees and fresh bread from the garden. Food suddenly becomes more than something we consume. It becomes a connection between people, animals, and the land. Back at home, there is always more work to do on the farm. Gates need fixing and fences need repairing so the ducks and goats stay where they should. Sometimes the solutions are simple and not very pretty, but they work. Even after fixing everything, the ducks still manage to escape through small gaps, reminding us that farm life is full of small challenges and surprises. Even with all the work, this life feels meaningful. It is about learning Shah. Living close to nature teaches patience. Every tree grows in its own time. Every season brings different lessons, and every day on the land reminds us that life cannot be rushed. Slowly we begin to understand the rhythm of the earth. When we plant seeds in the soil, we are not only growing food, we are planting hope for the future. Watching those small seeds turn into healthy plants reminds us how powerful simple actions can be. Caring for animals also brings a deep sense of responsibility. They depend on us for food, shelter, and kindness, and in return they give us nourishment and companionship. In the quiet mornings on the farm, before the world fully wakes up, there is a peaceful feeling in the air. The sounds of birds, the wind through the trees, and the soft movements of animals make the land feel alive. Sometimes the work is difficult. There are long days under the sun, unexpected problems, and moments when everything feels overwhelming. But these challenges are also part of the beauty of this life. Through these experiences, we learn to appreciate the smallest things: a fresh piece of fruit from the tree, a warm sunrise, or a simple meal made from ingredients we grew ourselves. Living this way reminds us that happiness does not always come from having more. Often it comes from slowing down, paying attention, and being grateful for what we already have. As the seasons change, the landscape changes with them. New fruits grow, flowers bloom, and the forest continues its quiet cycle of life and renewal. The more time we spend working with the land, the more we realize how connected everything truly is. The soil, the trees, the animals, and the people all play a part in this living system. And through this journey, we continue to learn, grow, and share these moments. Step by step, day by day, we move closer to a life that feels meaningful, peaceful, and deeply connected to nature.